This is Dave Perry, and you're watching Retro Gaming Revival live.
Greetings and welcome to another exciting edition of Retro Game Revival Live. I'm nervous, not going to deny it. I'm extremely nervous tonight. We just go through who's in. So, Nintendo Ollie, hello Ollie, how are you?
Evening everybody. Yes, all good, mate. All good.
Good stuff. I did have little Big Brother little intros for everyone, but I've only written Ryan's, and I've just decided to call him Ryan Dowling. So. Hopefully you'll appreciate that. But no, we are absolutely honoured. It's been a long time coming, but we are absolutely honoured to be joined by, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, the Arborist, businessman,
right,
documentary filmmaker, Big Brother legend, and in my opinion, the real winner of Big Brother 8. I think it was Big Brother 8. And
That's
of
right.
course, the gamer, the amazing Liam McGough. Welcome, Liam.
Thank you. That's a lovely intro.
Legend.
Lovely to be here.
Good. No, we are very, very honoured. Now, before we get on to it, we've also got a bit of sad news. You may notice that a couple of people are not here. So, unfortunately, Triangle Face isn't here. So we don't know what's happened to him. So if anyone can let us know, we've got a text number there. So 07745 082352. If you can let us know where Triangle Face is, that is a genuine number. I've got the actual phone here. So it is a genuine number. So hopefully we get loads of abuse. And sadly, Blunner's not here. So as well, we've got a text number, which is 07745 082352.
It really rolls off the tongue, that number.
It does, yeah. That's my old, very, very old number. So if anyone wants to text us any abuse, please do so. But in all seriousness, welcome, Liam. It's an absolute honour to have you. So welcome.
Thank
How are you?
I hope it's not because I'm here that Triangle Face and Blunders is away.
Well, Triangle Face has not been very well. He has got hemorrhoids again. So hopefully he will be back soon. But Blunders,
triangular face, which can't.
But yeah, Blunders, we don't know where he is. He's
You have to get hashtag Blundwatch on the go again.
Yeah, so maybe you can text that number and let us know.
Does he disappear regular?
He has once or twice. We had to get the hashtag Blundwatch going at one point. So
we did. We haven't got that hashtag going, but maybe we should get that going. So yeah, thank you, Liam. So we'll just crack on, shall we? So early gaming memories. What can you tell us about your early gaming memories?
Well, you know what? When you guys messaged first, and I obviously was super keen to chat, but it's kind of opened up. I was speaking to my brother about it on the telephone and thinking about early games memories, and really it's opened up a bit of a Pandora's box of the mind. I've got so many fond memories, and really in the same way you'd have seminal albums and things musically, there's big portions of my life that I can relate to playing a particular game at that time. Maybe so my brother happened to remind us of a time when we were kids. My brother is really fantastic at knowing the game systems, knowing the makers, knowing the artists, all of that thing. And I'm more just somebody who just likes to play, likes to spend time with him, and that's something that we share and we like to do together. So he's 6 years my elder, and when we were kids, he would help advise me as to what I might like for Christmas. But he always chose, to his defense, he always chose really good stuff. So we would get computer games, and then pre-Christmas we would steal those games from the cupboard where they were hidden. Then I would sneak across to his bedroom for midnight movies, and then we would just play these games. And he was telling me about a memory that we were playing. I think it's not Pac-Man. It might be called Pac-Land.
Okay, yeah.
So we were playing and both finding it very difficult to, get very far. He gave me the controller to go down because our mum was shouting for us to go to macro or something. And when he came back up, I had pressed some buttons and got us infinite lives somehow. But I would have been like, I don't know, maybe 6 years old at the time. So when he asked what I'd done, I said, I don't know, I've pressed up, down, AC, left or something like that. And then we tried to recreate it for ages. And unfortunately, we got shouted to come down because it was time to go. And then we had to turn the computer off. And then our mum told us that it was fine if we wanted to leave it on, if she knew, because she liked computers as well.
Nice.
That we would have been able to, yeah. Another, again, so many memories, but another memory was I was sat at a friend of ours, Chris Wood's house. And
the footballer?
No.
Not the Newcastle United striker.
The streets, no. And so everybody was taking turns, like a level in a life, and you pass it on. And we were playing Mario on the first Nintendo, and I was holding joystick 2, and I was just playing along, pretending to play at the same time as somebody else who was doing it, only then to find out that I'd made it through the whole level and that I was in control of the guy, and the other person had been doing the same thing. So
skills.
Yeah, skills.
I can't think of another game where that used to happen all the time. There was something to do with it used to get so confusing on screen, and you'd always think I'm the other player, and you never were, and you'd somehow manage to do really well, get to the end, think your character's dead, and then go, "Oh, it's me." I can't think what game it was. It will come to me randomly later on, and I'll just yell it out. But
so I mean, you guys, like, what are you guys interested in these new miniature games consoles where you get a few pre-packaged games and you can take them on holiday with you and things? Is that something that's interested?
Yeah, some of them. Yeah,
definitely for me. So literally, as you said that, next to me in the office bit here, I've got the sort of mini Super Nintendo, which more than anything for me, it was just cool to have a Super Nintendo that fitted in my hand. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But it comes preloaded with some of the games where the cartridges to get them now are like, £200-300 to have the game, and you're like, I'm not paying that. It's gone silly money. So to be able to play it on a Nintendo with a Nintendo controller and it will be licensed, I quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first really head-buttable controller, wasn't it, as well? So
yes, it was.
Although I've grown out of that now, there definitely, was some really frustrating moments where I'd want to throw them. And
100%,
yeah. I think my original NES controller has actually got bite marks across the top. I think it was the original Ninja Turtles game. It frustrated me so much one day. I just remember biting it and my dad going absolutely ballistic at me. Bite the bloody controller. Oh, God. I look at it now. I still have it.
I mean, when you think about the potential of what could happen, but surely somebody in the developments thought, these are going to get bitten and headbutted and, thrown and put down.
Well, maybe they can, I don't know, make it like soft stuff, and maybe we take that idea to Dragon's Den. We can make an absolute fortune.
Because I remember my Mega Drive had a big dent in the side where I launched the controller at it because I lost a cup final on Premier Manager. I was just so angry that I'd lost. It takes so long to get through a season, then you lose the biggest match of the season. But then my Mega Drive still worked after that, and I imagine if you did that to a PS5, it'd probably crack or.
Well, you'll give yourself a hernia lifting it up first, because it's so.
It might take you 6 years to replace it.
Because you just
can't. But the N64 again, that you couldn't headbutt that, because then you're going to end up with a waggle stick smashed to bits and.
Yeah.
You had to bend outwards with those guys.
Yeah, I think we said on a stream sort of earlier in the year, we went to a pub. We all sort of worked together, and we went to a bar that was pre-COVID, and there was a younger guy on our team. We went to this bar that had a Nintendo 64 plugged in. And we sort of handed them the controller, and everybody who's had a Nintendo 64 knows to just hold the middle bit, and you'd sort of crack on. And they just couldn't figure out how to hold this controller, and you're like, "Oh my god, you're showing your age!" And I immediately feel old. It was one of those moments where you feel, "Oh crap, I am getting old, aren't I? I don't like this."
Yeah,
I mean,
that was me.
YouTube,
That was me holding that.
Yeah, there's some YouTube stuff where you see children given, tapes and what do you do with this? But embarrassingly, I did pick up a Paxo stuffing box recently and was reading the back, and then swiped my thumb across it as if I was going to suddenly look at something else or change the ingredients or something.
Yeah. I find my daughter does that with the TV. She just goes up to it immediately and tries tapping the thing that she wants it to go off. And you're like, oh God, not everything's a touch screen, but they just think everything's touch screen.
As long as I don't tap it too hard.
No.
Imagine that, tapping it too hard and breaking it. Oh,
don't, mate. I'm forever cleaning little yogurt handprints off my telly. And it's
jammy fingers.
Yeah.
I've got a Super Pro Console X, I think it is, which has got thousands of games on it. So if you can pick them up quite cheaply now, about 30 quid, 40 quid. Got loads of games: Mega Drive, SNES, Amiga, Commodore 64. Loads and loads of games. So
that's exciting. My dad bought me and my brother for last Christmas this little retro flag GPI case. Ooh. It's like a miniature what do you call it, Game Boy. And then on that has a color screen and thousands of games with all those different ones on. You get some funny looks. I think people tend to think that you're like a hipster or something when you pull it out on the train or on the plane or whatever. But as soon as they see that it's color and got all the games, then everybody wants one.
Yeah, I'm sure Blunders has got one. Talking of Blunders, hang on. We've got an update. There he is. He's turned up. He's safe and well.
Yeah. Sorry.
We can call off the Blund watch.
Blund watch is now.
I was trying to find Triangle Face, but I couldn't see him anywhere.
That's all right. But yeah, welcome, Blunders. Thanks for turning up. Hopefully, you're going to apologise to Liam for being late.
Hello, mate.
Sorry, Liam.
Did all four of you guys work together?
No.
We all live quite close to each other though, so we all sort of we all know each other and knew each other before we started the channel.
In London?
No,
a bit further south. We're sort of between Portsmouth and Southampton. We're sort of all across the long stretch between those two bits.
Yeah,
so
you
got
probably
lovely Portsmouth, and
you
then
can probably guess who's from Portsmouth. The chavvy one over there is from Portsmouth, and the Southampton contingents over here. It's like the class goes up.
Yeah, the rough ones, the rough-looking ones from Southampton.
So I just seem to float in no man's land.
I'm from the northeast, so maybe I'll trump yous on that one.
Are you Newcastle or Sunderland?
I'm Durham, really, in the middle, but closer to Newcastle.
So, are you a Newcastle fan?
I am, yeah. But the village that I live in is probably half and half, really. Sunderland and Newcastle, that is.
Good, because Sunderland's always beat us and they knocked us out of the playoffs, so that's good.
Yeah.
I'm not bitter.
Everyone beats Portsmouth, to be fair. So
shut up. They didn't yesterday, did they? We ran on a penalty shootout. Anyway, before I get more abuse, let's quickly move on. So, Liam, what is your favourite game and your favourite console?
Again, very, very difficult. I think, again, I played it more recently on the miniature Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo, can't remember. Donkey Kong Country. I think that is my favourite. I love platform games, so Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, all of those games I really love. Again, Dizzy Island, and since the very beginning, really, my first ever game was like an individual console that only had one game on it. That was Donkey Kong. The original platform barrel throwing repetitive kind of game.
Jumpman.
And then all of a sudden to have that, and then different levels, and then balls chasing you, and like it's so exciting and frustrating at the same time. Really, it's a box ticker for me.
Mm.
And then like open world games I got into later on. I mean, everybody like loves Mario 64 for that first time it was suddenly everywhere. But my introduction to it was actually Banjo Kazooie on the 64 as well.
Yes.
And I absolutely loved that game for the ability to change the character and have different kind of abilities for each thing. And also the noises and everything really was just really excellent about that game.
Yeah. There's something really special about Banjo Kazooie, and I'm not entirely sure what it was. I think like you say, because Mario 64 is always up there for a lot of people, including me. It's that first proper 3D platforming game that I ever properly experienced, and I think lots of people then tried to do that, but never really quite hitting that mark. And then Banjo Kazooie came along, and it was just this really quirky game, but it's still good now. That's the thing. It still plays well, and it still looks good now. It's great.
It does, yeah. And then again, also they did a Donkey Kong version as well.
Yep.
But I got really frustrated with that because I just wanted it to be the same as the platform running, left to right. But you would like get one little thing, and then suddenly you had to go back all the way down, all the things, to then collect another thing, to then remember. And it just felt a little bit like, collecty rather than like individual challenges. You just, it's like trying to remember where everything was. And then in more recent times, really good games that I've played are like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
I mean, and The Last of Us, I think everybody probably says that.
Classic,
Yeah.
And then The Last of Us 2 as well, I really enjoyed. I know like there's some mixed feelings about that, but I can't help feeling that the mixed feelings are the same feelings that some people have towards, a black mermaid or a female, what do you call it, Time Lord, and all of those things. So really, for me, it was a great story, and frightening, challenging, a bit collecty, but it gives you the option again in Horizon Zero Dawn. You've got to get a few herbs and get a few branches and make some things that ultimately you're going to need to challenge some of the harder robot dinosaurs. But also you can kind of skip past a little bit. Lots of people loved Red Dead Redemption. I know that would be just super high for, like probably a vast majority of people who love gaming. But for me, I just found that like super collecty. I really would meet an old lady who wanted me to go and get some, pelt from somewhere. And I just thought, honestly, I work hard enough during the day.
Oh man, Horizon is completely unique. I think that both games are excellent, but there's just something about that first one. I remember playing through that and just thinking these controls are faultless. There was just everything about it was so responsive and so good, and the story. I mean, I think I've said it before, but there's a point in that where you kind of the story is explained, and it is just incredible. And with the second one, I was really sort of wondering, I wonder if they're going to be able to sort of pull that off again and have like another like big reveal moment, and they do, and it's such a great, unique series. And if anyone hasn't played it, it's for me, it's up there with The Last of Us as it's completely different to The Last of Us, but in terms of like a really good story that's just great modern sci-fi, it's I can't say enough good things about Horizon. It's so good, mate. I feel like I need to pick it up for Christmas.
You can get really cheap, can't you? I'm halfway through it. It's about £10. But the problem is, it came out at the same time as Breath of the Wild, and for me, Breath of the Wild is it's one I like there.
I never played that.
Oh, mate,
it's
really
good.
Liam, have you played Death Stranding?
Oh.
Sorry, I missed what you said there.
Have you played Death Stranding?
No.
Good. Don't bother. It's garbage.
Oh,
Right.
It's awful.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's going to save me some time.
I
There's a-
missold that to Daubs.
Yeah,
I got it as a
I think it's
Christmas
30
present.
quid I paid for that. 30 quid, I think it was. I've been
Man.
ripped off. I'm
Get
not
money
happy.
back.
Death Stranding is
Awful. The graphics are
amazing.
amazing, but the
It's
storyline.
amazing. There's a couple of games that me and Daubs genuinely do not see eye to eye on, and Death Stranding is absolutely one of them. You are a glorified postman, so you literally just deliver shit from A to B, but the story that goes around it is absolutely
Rubbish.
mind blowing.
Yeah, Liam, if you're interested, I could sell you my copy. I'll do you a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I've had mixed reviews so far.
Oh, it's brilliant! It's a great game.
Yeah.
No, it's garbage, but I'll still keep it. Because the graphics are.
I
Good.
sold you that other garbage game as well.
Oh,
Deathloop.
Deathloop. Yeah, awful. Awful. So yeah, not the best. Have you got a PS5, Liam?
I don't have a PS5. No, I have a PS4.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I want one. We've got so a few of my friends. We play Warzone and Rebirth Island, and that. And they're from home. I live in London. They live back home in County Durham. And so, like, one nice thing that we can do to knock about together is, we'll play on the computer games and chat and have a laugh. And we tend just to play Rebirth Island, really, to be honest with you, because it's like repetitive, small enough, good competition. We get a few wins and stuff, so it's like, not too depressing like the bigger map. And I can't really remember my point. Oh yeah, PS5. So one of the guys has a PS5, and he speaks very highly of it. He's got this new Modern Warfare 2 Call of Duty game, and he's talking about, we like sniping, so he's talking about the snipers, how the sniper engages the double triggers at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want one, but I'm also not a kick in the arse of 40, and I'm suddenly going to spend 500 quid on this PS5 for limited games, really. I mean, all of the games at the moment pretty much are available on PS4, and even that game that's just come out still a cross-play element to it. So I want one, and I think if I was walking past CEX and I saw one in the window for 350, 400 quid, then I probably would get one. But at the moment, I don't know what's happened with it. I mean, was this a sales strategy for them to try and limit the numbers, or did COVID kind of spoil what happened?
Because it's been out nearly 2 years now, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was November, yeah.
And they've got to be in development for the next one. I mean, these things don't have a huge shelf life. The PS4, I mean, that really lasted quite a long time compared to some of the other ones. So, I just can't help feeling that with the development of VR and everything at the moment advancing so quickly, it can't be long before there's something out there that's really going to be worth investing the money in, because I do want to transport myself out of my life and into a all world reality type situation, and hopefully not feel as seasick as what I do at the moment with the kind of basic setup.
I think Rhaegar's just put in the chat there. I think originally during the pandemic there was this infamous chip shortage where the chips are made in a very particular area, I think in China, and they just couldn't get enough of them to just make enough PS5s for launch. So the console became a bit like hen's teeth. It was just really hard to get hold of. And the demand just hasn't sort of really been met yet. And I think you're right. I think the fact that a lot of these games probably would have been PS5 exclusives, but they've kind of scaled it back so that they don't lose out on the money by making it available and playable on a PS4.
I think I heard
a lot of the. Sorry.
So I think I heard today they've sold 20 million. 20. Was it 20? I think it was 20 K of them. I think something like that. What was it?
Yeah. Because you still can't walk into Game and pick up a PS5, can you?
No.
No.
So if you're out Christmas shopping, you still can't. You have to plan like 6 months in advance to try and get one for someone.
They're in checks for like 700 quid. 700.
Yeah, which is just
Yeah,
unbelievable, isn't it?
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Ridiculous. I wouldn't pay that. But
But I think until some of the big hitters, 'cause I know like the Resident Evil 4 remake's coming out, and that was originally penned as being a PS5 exclusive. I'm not sure if that. I'll have a look now, but every time there's a game coming out, it's like, oh, it's going to be on the PS5, and then it just, six weeks later, it's like miraculously on the PS4 as well. And I think people are like, well, I'll wait then. Like there's no, but you said there's nothing really pulling me unless you're just sort of lucky enough to be an early adopter, and there's a few games on the PS5 that are the exclusive ones, I guess. But yeah, well, while they still doing the cross play for it, then yeah, some people just won't dive on it if they don't need to.
No,
it's just the setup and all of that. It's like even just loading me details in me Activisions and that sort of stuff. I just cannot be bothered.
No, because you've got to move in.
Turn on and just play, and then turn it off when you're finished with it.
I mean, with some of it now, I've noticed you have QR codes. And you just hold your phone up, and it just scans it, and then it will just transfer everything over.
Right.
Which makes it a lot easier, because I'm like you, I can't be bothered to type in an email address, and then you can't remember your password from 9 years ago when you set up your PlayStation, and it's like, what am I doing?
You've got a weird email address as well from like
but then you don't
just
have
had it up
anymore,
20 years
so you can't get the password.
So it says here that they've only sold 21.61 million units so far. So you think there's just hardly any?
They would have sold 10, well, not 10 times, but a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody know like how many the PS4 sold? Quadruple that?
Yeah,
10 times that?
Let's have a look. PS4 units.
Yeah, I know Switch is on like 120 mil.
I would love a Switch. Yeah, I don't have a
yeah,
Switch, but I would love a Switch.
116.94 million across the world.
Wow.
46 million PS4s in Europe. So
that's insane.
PlayStation 2 sold 158 million.
Yeah, that's the one to catch. Yeah.
What about the KVS? Is that 500?
Shocking.
We've got a little update. Sorry about this, Liam. We've got a little update from Triangle Face. Someone's actually texted in. I thought they wouldn't bother, but they have actually texted in.
This is on your old phone that you haven't used for years.
Yeah. So I'm sure I
You're
just saw
gonna have to hold
Triangle
the phone
Face
up in a minute, mate.
Oh yeah, it's embarrassing. So I just got a text. I'm sure I just saw Triangle Face coming out of for your eyes only, heading towards Nando's. So he has been seen out in the wild. But yeah, there's the old phone.
Oh my god, what is that?
That's an LG cookie. LG cookie.
LG. Oh yeah, I remember them ones.
Yeah.
Does it flip
Hold on.
up?
Let's chuck you on solo layout, bud.
Let's have a look.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Nice.
Does the bottom slide out?
No. It's not that.
That's it. It's just touchscreen.
It is
like
touchscreen.
that.
I think it's one of the first touchsceen ones as well. So.
Wow.
Not the
He's got a text on there.
Yeah. So there is the genuine text from that person. I hope I haven't just shown their number to everyone. That'd be pretty embarrassing. But yeah, if anyone's got any more updates, please let us know. So Liam, we normally ask next what you're playing now, but I've actually got a bit of a skill that you don't know about, but I can actually predict what people are playing. This is a new feature. Right. So just getting some inspiration. So let me just click that. Right, so what you plan now, I've got a feeling, let me guess. You've already said one. I think it's Call of Duty Warzone Last Stand. I think you're playing that. I've got a feeling you've recently played. I'm just getting the image.
Not egging this out at all.
Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. Have you played that recently?
No.
A bit awkward. What about Team Sonic Racing? Have you played that recently?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got another one.
What's he looking at?
Oh, jeez.
Resident.
I get it. Maybe I have played Rush of Blood.
Yes.
Let me just have a look.
Yes. It's the fair ground. It's the fairground one.
Is he stalking him?
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, he's stalking him.
Oh,
Oh, another one. Hang on. Let me think. Just getting the image.
Very good at this psychic
Resident
stuff.
Evil 7. Resident Evil
Yeah,
7.
that's the VR of Resident Evil, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'll get another one. This is quite a
Oh, my
weird.
word.
This hasn't got my browser history in it as well.
Got another one. Super Hot VR. Have you been playing that?
Yeah. Although I know how that sounds.
What's her name?
So yeah, you've been playing those 5 games. So
I have, and I've also been playing Little Nightmares. Have you guys played that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
Little
Nightmares
Nightmares is great.
And then before those two, I think made by probably the same people, although not sure 100% on that. Limbo and Inside, very similar games, but absolutely excellent. Me and my brother, when he was down visiting me, played and completed Limbo and Inside in one night, both of them, and very satisfying and annoying in the same sense to clock games in one night. But if something grabs you enough to want to spend the hours playing on them and seeing them through, then the winners in my eyes. But Little Nightmares, I thought, really had scope for being a much, much bigger game.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit like anime kind of, what's that, Howl's Flying Castle?
I like the Studio Ghibli type stuff.
Yeah, which is the one where all of the pigs are eaten and the person's hiding.
Ah,
Can't remember.
yes. I know the one you mean, but no.
We'll pass.
I shouldn't bring things up if I can't remember all of the details. So that's on me.
Yeah. But no, yeah, Little Nightmares is very, very cool. It's one of the my daughter really likes it. I've got not just the small one that throws yogurt at the TV. I've got one that's 12, and she really likes Little Nightmares. She's really becoming a little horror fiend, which is great. But she
That's
she
cool.
loves Little Nightmares because it's got enough challenge in it where it's a bit challenging, but the design of all the characters and the layout and stuff, it's all just really quite it's quite macabre. I do like it.
I've just had a look at it. It reminds me of Sackboy a little bit.
Yeah, it's got
Okay.
elements to it.
I've not
Kind
played
of
that.
got
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's very, very good, Sackboy.
I mean, did you guys play Abe's Odyssey or Abe's Exodus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. I mean, especially Inside was a little bit more like that. I mean, that is another, to go back onto the early games memories. You know, like I would go into my brother's room. This is like, I don't know, I was probably 15 at the time. And he had a friend who would turn up late at night when he'd finished work. And he would come in and we would just sit and play the lives, chew the fat. And then, you know, everybody would go their separate ways or whatever. And that's really fun memories, playing that. And at that same time, because I was younger, I was able to like hold my own a little bit. There would be some elements that they couldn't do that would be passed to me, and then I would try and maybe do it. And it was the first time I felt like on an equal playing field a little bit there. Ability-wise.
Yeah. No,
It's
no,
funny
I know
you say that because when I used to play Super Mario, the original on the NES with my sister, I used to always get the spring bits that were really difficult in the first.
Yeah.
I could do them. I don't know how, but I tried to do them. You know, as a grown up, I can't do them anymore. But as a kid, I could nail them every time. And like she'd get to that stage, give me the control, and I'd be able to do those bits for her.
Yeah, it's like the champ's coming.
Gets his own entrance music, comes down.
Yeah.
Like on,
I think it's
on
just
Games
that,
World.
that element of games where they were just so much harder back then because they were just so much shorter and they had to make them just last forever, didn't they? And it's games now you can, like Elden Ring, you know, I'm playing that still like a crackhead, and you know, I'm sort of just about to cusp the 100-hour mark in that, and there's still so much to do. But yeah, back then it's sort of games would, you know, maybe you could complete them in an hour and a half if you were on it, but you had to be really good at it. So it's almost like you had to drill it and learn it and where you might only
for
have like
sure.
1 game or 2 games a year, so you really did play the hell out of them.
Yeah. When you guys asked me some pre-questions before to give me a heads up on what we might discuss or whatever, and again, just a suggestion or whatever, but something that came to mind was I get, you know, like you'd asked me what am I playing now and my favorite console and that sort of stuff. But there's a game that is my like arch nemesis. It's like one of me, maybe even my favorite game. But it's the only game that I've never clocked, and it's again. I must stress that it's not because I can't. I definitely can. It's just that my life has never afforded me the appropriate amount of time to be able to do it, and so I bring out the GameCube every once in a while
classic,
with this monkey ball, and it's so simple.
Monkey ball, yeah.
It's a monkey in a ball. It's like one of those. You know, I thought I was controlling the ball, but I think you're controlling the land, and you've got to roll down things and over things around mazes, and they get thinner, and you get. But because it's, you know, not infinite lives, and if you lose your lives, you start again at the beginning. It's not save points, so you've got to like get so good that you nail up to like level 55 without losing any single life, just to be able to afford like 5 lives to be able to spend on one bit that you're finding really difficult. And it actually, like, there's been times where I've felt like almost like crying, like so angry with it. But then equally, there's been times when I've done it and I've like wanted to punch the air, like I'd scored a goal at Wembley, or, you know, like, come on, we're ready. And yeah, so that is like the one that has caused me the most challenge, but also probably given me the most long-term pleasure. And so really, I think that's probably my favorite game.
Okay.
Super I like this idea of your sort of
love to hate.
Yeah. Liam's love to hate. That's what
Liam's
we call it.
love to hate.
In honour of you, we will call it, because we got Waller's remasters for Rick. So we call it Liam's love to hate.
You saying that? I picked this up.
Yay!
Hey.
I picked this up.
PS2 as well.
Yeah, I picked that up the other day. It was £3.
And have you played it yet?
Not yet. I literally got it yesterday, I think. But yeah.
Was it box complete?
Yeah, box complete, as Ryan would say.
Fantastic.
Make sure you've got a pillow to hand to scream into.
I'm hoping I can save on it. Apparently, it's got Tesco sticker 100. I don't know what that's about.
That's an old style one as well.
That's an old style Tesco as well.
Yeah, well, they used to use what they call price tags back in the day. They don't use them anymore. Yeah, I like that. Liam's love to hate. That's what we call it. Yeah, I like that. we will do that in honour of you. So there's a bit of news today. So this is hot off the press. Basically, the PSVR 2 is going to be released, I think, February next year. For
how much?
£530. So you spend 500 quid on the console, and then you spend another 530 quid. So you're talking over £1,000 to get that. Yeah. Is anyone gonna pay £530?
Wow.
Triangle face.
I mean,
you know what? These kids are like going around in £1,000 trainers now, and their parents have not got different jobs than what they had when we were kids. So something is happening where people can spend crazy money on these things. I mean, for £1,000, you'd want a haptic suit.
You'd want to be able to run in it.
Yeah, like one of those trays that you run on, and yeah. I don't know. I mean, what does it say that it's what features are going to be different to the one that is out at the moment? Dobby, come here.
I don't know actually. All I saw was a little pop-up thing. I've not
Ray
looked
is a
into
VR man, isn't
at all.
Yeah, I do.
If Ray can let us know.
I do know the new VR headset is gonna have technology in it so that it is actually gonna. I don't want to say vibrate, because that makes it sound like it's gonna give you a headache. But there is going to be some sort of interactivity with the headset on your head as well. And I think the display in it is a 4K display, so it's not. It's going to be really high end in terms of the actual visual element that you're going to get. Because PSVR, like the first one, I like it. I get a kick out of it. But when you go and play someone like my mate's got a Valve, I can't think what it is. He's got one for his PC, and it's just insane. It makes the PSVR look awful. But the controllers are new as well. They've designed actual VR controllers for it. So I know they've pumped a lot of money into it, but I was really hoping it was going to be sub 400. But 500.
I mean, the controllers look amazing, but like in the 90s, early 90s, we were seeing like the Nintendo bring a glove, which obviously is completely unusable. But why aren't they having gloves? Like, just have gloves. If they're going to mimic your hand, then I can't see why they couldn't make hands, gloves that you put on, or even like little exoskeleton type things that go on the outside of it. So then you could have, keyboard displays and things in front of you. And so
they should give you a job in there.
But they won't.
No, they have these weird wheelie things. But yeah, £530 is a ridiculous price.
It's very, very
insane.
It's getting to the high end mark. That I know Rhaegar's put the price of the Valve one that you can get for £900 and all this kind of stuff, but PC gaming has always been an expensive market, so I almost expect everything on the PC to cost twice what it costs on a console. Is it really 500? Is it really 530 quid?
It's been announced. We're not lying, mate. We're not. It looks as though it hasn't got all the wires that the original VR had, because that was an absolute nightmare setting it up. And then once you'd set it up and put it away again, it's like, I can't be asked to set that back up again. So many wires.
I got that day
and then
one.
Nothing charges the controllers, the little ones. You can't charge those outside of the PlayStation. So whoever came up with that idea is a knob.
Let me write that down.
So there's an article I'm just reading here. So if you get a PS5 and you're looking to also get the PSVR 2 at the same time, it's going to cost you £1,090 for both.
So if you pre-ordered from Funstock, you have to pay it all up front, wouldn't you? Which is ridiculous. I mean, that's crazy money.
Unreal.
Is that Funstock or Fun Spot?
Stock, Funstock.
Because Fun Spot's that. Do you ever see that? Of course you guys have. What do you call it? King of Kong.
Yes.
Then that's Fun Spot, isn't it? Where they all go for the real retro game and arcade.
Thingy.
Well, anybody watching, if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. That's one of my favorite documentaries. But character-wise, there's some real funny nerds on that.
Yeah. I agree. It's a very, very cool documentary. Very cool. And it's such a great title as well. I mean, it's like how someone hadn't made something like that before, I don't know, but yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've seen that.
There's another one with do you remember there's a game called, I think it's called Nibbler. It's like Snake, what you used to have on the Nokia game.
Yeah.
And there's another one about some guy who believed that he had the record for this million score on Nibbler or something, and only to find out in his later life that it was actually beaten like a minute after by an Italian kid in a shop in Italy. And then he just tries to go and win it back. But it's kind of, the whole thing is his life's like, it's kind of depressing because that's his achievement and he didn't have it, and he's kind of been riding the coattails of it, even though he's got quite a depressing job. But there's also something quite nice about, like, somebody said computer games are like the only thing that you get good at that has no like transferable like real world application. So you could like spend hundreds of hours and get really good at being the spring master or whatever, and then you go to apply that in your life and you're like, damn it, there really isn't or you get good by putting a sock over your fingers and get fantastic at California games or something. Actually,
classic.
Now that I think about it, there's a real world application for that.
Yeah.
I
I
like
think
that, I
you,
like
you
that. Did anyone ever know anyone who could do that sack ball thing? Did anyone ever go to a park with a sack ball and do like keepy uppies
No.
and stuff?
Yeah, it's called hacky sack.
Hacky sack is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually seen people do that. I lived in Camden, so there's that and slacklining and taking heroin.
Allegedly.
Pretty, no, not me. I mean them.
Yeah, that was always. I mean, that was hard in California games. It's hard in real life. I mean, Christ, yeah. I think a few people might have tried. I mean, Tim Triangle Face in the chat will know because I went to college with Tim. But I vaguely remember going to college and people doing hacky sack out on like the field where the bus would turn up and just being very confused. It's like I'm barely awake, barely functioning at 10 to 8 in the morning on a bus, and there's some happy people out there kicking a hacky sack around. Thinking,
How
"What's
middle
going on
class
here?"
was your college?
Yeah,
People at my college was stood there having a fag, can of Red Bull.
I went to Barton Peveril, mate. That's your neck of the woods.
That's right by my house.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
I went to
surprised
Barton
people were
Peveril.
doing that around there.
That's totally your neck of the woods, mate.
Wow. Yeah. You sound very, very posh. Very, very posh. So, obviously, Liam, you're. We'll talk a little bit about it if that's okay. But yeah. Synonymous with Big Brother. I've got a confession. You are my second favourite housemate of all time.
That's not bad.
No, there is a reason why the number one housemate is my favourite, because my mate looked exactly like him. And what I'll do, I'll send you some pictures later of my mate. But basically, he is this spitting. I won't show him on this because it's probably embarrassing. But he is a spitting image of John T.
John T from my series also.
He is a spitting image of him. So I remember watching it when John T come out, and I was like, "Fucking hell's Pops? What's he doing there?" So yeah, you are my second favourite housemate.
Well, that's not what you told me earlier, Dorbs. You told me earlier your favourite housemate was Orla.
No, I did. Oh, don't lie. Disgusting.
Yeah.
So
you said the moment she went in dressed in that like leaf was your favourite Big Brother moment as well.
No, I preferred Sunita in the leaf, I must admit.
As far as leaves go, well, John T, interestingly, not to go on about Big Brother, but was a very, very interesting character to live with, and probably one of the most unique human beings that I've ever come across.
Yeah.
I think if I'd been watching, I would have liked him even more than I liked him in real life. But there were times when, some of the stuff that he was doing was so out there that it was just difficult to like, because again, it's an entertainment show and people are watching to see people not be boring, and not that I always succeeded with that, but he would we had this oven in the bedroom. I think it was designed to piss people off while they were trying to get to sleep, to have somebody baking a chicken or roasting a chicken or whatever, baking a cake, and there was a splash mat on the floor made out of tiles, and he would just get up while everybody was laying in bed going off to sleep, and he would just sit down on it and just fart. And I remember just thinking, like, this is a 40-odd-year-old man in my bedroom doing this. Like, what is going on here? But again, there were sweet, times when he'd be very sweet to everybody, and certainly emotionally considerate of people's needs and things when they were upset. So, fair play to him. He's a good egg. I don't mind coming second to him.
No. He's a good bloke. But I've just sent you two pictures of my mate, so you can verify that he is the spitting image of him. Honestly, especially the second. Don't show him on the screen because he'll kill me.
I'm not sure how I would even go about doing that.
Oh, that's good.
Without leaving the thing. I'll definitely check them out afterwards.
All right. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is the spitting image. So he doesn't watch this, lucky enough, so I can say whatever I want. But yeah. Loved your show. Glad you won the money. There's a couple of people I didn't like on your
yeah. Fire away, I'll tell you if they're all right or not in real life.
Could not stand
you know
Charlie.
what? You know, I can see why people might not, but again, there's nobody quite like her, and as a result, I just think there's like an authenticity to her as a person that is, you know, like often people try and be things, or in many cases, all things to all people. You know, like having an authentic, unapologetic personality is rare, and she has that, and she also is very funny and is very sweet, but also capable of going as low as is necessary to win an argument, which is
100%.
quite intimidating. So really, I think if you were in a company for 30 seconds, you would be absolutely charmed by her. And if you were in a company for, you know, a few days and you pissed her off, you might, you know, be on the receiving end of a sharp tongue.
Yeah. Maybe it's just the way they edited it, you know. But yeah, she just came across as just bullshit and in your face and just rude. But yeah,
for sure at times. And who else?
I think that was the only one. I'm looking through the list. I like the twins; they were good.
Yeah.
Billy was quite controversial, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Billy.
Billy was quite controversial. Yeah. Again, you know, like I listened to somebody's podcast recently, who I, you know, who I, as a viewer, thought kind of the same opinion as everybody else, and. Yeah, I guess if you kind of get pushed into a situation where you think that you're getting portrayed a particular way, then you might lean on that to create like an avenue for yourself. Like when we were in there, he would have sunglasses on and, you know, and get into arguments and try and, it's a bit like Nasty Nick, you know, think about like how the system works and how voting can be manipulated and stuff like that. And when you're in there, people are paranoid, so they would become like a bit suspicious of him and kind of think of him as being sneaky or what have you. And really, I think he was, even now, he still is that character, somebody who says exactly what he was thinking. But you know, when you look at somebody and you think you have a good measure of them, I think deep down, he pushed himself into a lane and just played the character and was frightened to deviate from it until he became that person. Act the way you want to be, and soon you'll be the way you act. And I think that was him.
Yeah.
Again, I like them all. I you know, like for a while, I would get invited back onto Big Brother's Little Brother and things, and people would say, "What do you think of this person?" And I'd be watching it as a viewer. I'd be thinking, "Yeah, they're shit, or they're being nasty there, or whatever." But since it's been off, and I've had time to reflect without it kind of dangling a carrot in front of my face, I now empathise with people a lot more. Like. Even Geordie Shore, I didn't like the way that it reflected the Northeast because, you know, it kind of made everybody a bit feckless and kind of brazen and, you know, attention seekery in a kind of really unusual way. But now I think, maybe you just want a different life. Maybe the life that you're living isn't big enough for you. Maybe your bucket's got a hole in, and maybe... you know, other people's judgment, you know, if you shine a light on the behavior of anybody, it's going to come up muggy, you know? So, it's just, So now I'm like, I empathize with people's kind of emotional needs to put themselves out there. And I empathize with people, unfortunately, getting exactly what they're asked for and finding out that it wasn't what they thought it would be. You know, it's kind of like the genie making a wish on a genie, and then you getting the exact wish, and it turns out that you know that it's not all fantastic.
I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to get the opportunity to ask anyone that's been in Big Brother I guess like a question about it, and that it really looks like it is just the most insane experience. What, like, watching it from a viewer's perspective, that idea of not it's difficult to try and, I guess, conceptualize this idea that you don't have any real interaction with the outside world at all. You know, we're all so used to, I mean, even back when Big Brother first came on, there was obviously social media wasn't a thing, but the internet was in its infancy, and we were connected via loads of different means. And just, I guess I've just always wanted to know from I guess like a voyeur's perspective, like, what is it like being that cut off from everything?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, damaging. I guess it's quite damaging. I think I'm like relatively emotionally intact, but for sure, I mean, yeah, mobile phones were in your pocket in those days, but screen time would have been 27 minutes per day. You didn't have apps on your phone. You didn't have Facebooks to check. I didn't even have a Facebook account until I left. There was MySpace, but nobody chatted on it. There was MSN.
Wow.
Yeah. But I wasn't a teenage girl, so I wasn't rushing back at the end of a day to update my status and chat to my school friends or what have you. So really, in that sense, I was very lucky to be in a place it was like being at university or something, like you're sitting around, you're chewing the fat with people. They do create challenges and things to keep you entertained. But yeah, I remember particularly the night that I came out, getting into a car and it being a really quite, I don't want to, people say trauma all the time now, but a spicy memory. Was it felt like everything was moving too quickly. It felt like the world, it felt like going to Tokyo for the first time, just being on a normal road, driving around and getting to a hotel and seeing all these people who, because we had just been around the people that we'd been around for so many weeks, 13 weeks or something. And yeah, it was nuts. And I think, again, there are people that are really damaged by it, and I feel super sad that that's the case. But I for sure, I'm different than when I came out. In some ways better, in some ways worse. But I think the rehabilitation that they talk about prison being, and the importance of getting people out on a day release and trying to integrate them into work small portions of time and things like that. I think that's probably something that they should either reduce the amount of time that people are in there, or start with those things not right. You can go home. When I would finish my interviews and my meetings and my things, I was like at King's Cross train station, and I used to have like a Visa Electron card that you could only spend a certain amount on per day or whatever. And I couldn't afford to get me train. I had money, loads of money in my account because I just won some money. But I couldn't afford to spend any more on the card on that day. And so I was as famous as what I'll ever be, and more often than not, I'll play it down, the situation. But the reality is at that particular time, because there was only 5 channels and because 7 or 8 million people were tuning in every night, everybody would come up to you. And if not everybody, then, like 90% of everybody would come up with you. And I remember just thinking, this is like crazy. I'm not frightened of people. It's human beings, not zombies. But I was thinking, I don't know what to do.
Fair play. Please tell me. I'll ask one more question. No, 2 more questions on Big Brother, and then we'll move on. Please tell me the prize money that you got. Please tell me they gave it to you in one of those big, massive checks.
It did.
No.
And it was the guy who won it, Brian, who's a friend of mine. He actually, we were at a hotel in Houston a night or two after we'd come out, and he came up to me and whispered to me in the bar. He said, "Have you checked your account yet?" I said, "No, why?" He says, "Because we're being paid." And yeah, and we did actually get £30 per day to be in there. So all the time I was in there, I was actually calculating that. And I was thinking, can't wait to get out. I'm going to have a few £100 here. And, so, yeah. But, and again, even sadder than that, because I would have loved to have had a giant check, is in the diary room when the people awarded me that money, they were given, as part of it was shown a see-through suitcase with the cash inside it, 100,000, pounds in a super locked case or whatever. And then like years later, I went on to do something else and went into the task room workshop where things are made, and it was just sat on the shelf with fake money in it, and I was like,
what? That's ruined it.
I would have loved to have like ripped it open and like throw it up,
thrown it around there.
Scrooge McDucked myself into it.
Oh, I can't believe that. That's ruined it for me. One more question. Obviously, you got the money. You paid off your brother's uni debts. Bought your dad a car, I understand.
This is really good stuff, by the way.
I told you we do a lot of research.
Dorbs digs. I'll explain why in a minute, but yeah.
Bought your dad a car, put a little bit down for a house, and there's one sad tale that he didn't have enough left over for a motorbike. So have you now got that motorbike?
I thought you were going to say, "We've got you a motorbike." I don't actually have a motorbike. And just to clarify, is even though I did some nice things for those people people have also done incredibly nice things for me over the years. And ultimately, without those people, I wouldn't be emotionally intact. In the same way that I am. That we've all given each other things. But I don't have the motorbike. I do have a little scrambler motorbike, but
nice.
I don't have the motorbike of my dreams. But I did pass my bike test last year, so there's no reason really not to get one. I think me and my brother are going to go and do this NC 500 around Scotland at some point.
Cool.
And again, we'll probably take a little SNES with us in the wax jacket pocket or something.
Yes.
But yeah. I think that answers the question.
That's good.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Dorbs is very good at getting the info and doing some research on people, because we a long time ago when our channel first started out, we didn't do as much research into a particular guest, and the whole show was just an absolute nightmare. This person turned out to be not a particularly great person, and it's haunted us forever. So yeah, ever since then it was like, right, we need to make sure we do a lot of digging and
lynch mob waiting, don't we?
Well, actually, what I'm interested to know is my PlayStation name isn't Liam McGough, and so how did you manage to find that?
I'm going to be honest.
Phil McGrath.
I am friends with you on the PSN.
Right.
I don't know how. I think it's probably about 10, 12 years ago. For some reason, I did add you as a friend, and for some bizarre reason, you accepted. But we are friends on the PSN.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice then.
So, shall I? No, I won't say what your name is.
You can. I mean, nobody, I can't think that they'll be watching me do anything exciting. But
because I think your profile picture is like a rocket ship or something. Hang on, let me.
I mean, that'll be like one of the ones that were available to you at the time.
Where are you?
It's the same for me. I think mine's an arcade cabinet.
Yeah, yours is a little Grand Prix car.
Right.
And so basically, that's how. Let me just move on that. That's how I knew what you were playing, because I just looked on.
There you go.
So yeah, I have been very dishonest in my psychic abilities there. So I apologize.
I'm pleased you didn't. I'm pleased you didn't You didn't bring up me trophies.
You know what? I did look at these this morning. Funny enough, but they're all right. It's good.
Yeah, they're all right. They could be better, but if you had a monkey ball trophy, it'd be there.
Yeah.
It'd be there.
Yeah.
We need to
So
see a
yeah,
platinum
that's
for that.
how I did actually write these all down as well. So that's how I knew what you were playing. So
Oh, that's good preparation.
So, yeah.
Fair play
Well,
to you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to definitely watch and listen to, hear you guys chat with more of your guests and things. I think
brilliant.
it's really kind of you guys to ask and listen and invite me on and things. It is an unusual situation where you're the answerer of questions in a conversational style environment, because the desire is to find out all about you guys and what you're playing and what's on your shelves behind you and all of those things. So if it has seemed that I wasn't interested in what you guys have to say also, then
No, not at all.
I'm sorry about that.
No, this is all about you. It's all about you.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for coming on. And we are gonna have Liam's Love to Hate. We are gonna make that a new feature.
That's good.
And the last feature of tonight, we're gonna have, in honor of our good friend Rick Waller, we're gonna have
Rick Waller,
the Rick Waller, yeah. We're gonna have your Waller's remasters. So hopefully you've got 3 games that you think deserve a remake or a remaster for a modern console.
Yeah, I have actually. I will just very, very quickly tell you a story that I just remembered. It was, I went to Japan and I was spending some time out there, and I went into the arcades, and I had played Tekken 2 when I was younger and really enjoyed it. And obviously not obviously, but I don't speak Japanese or read it. So I'm going into a place that isn't catering for a Western audience, but I recognize Eddie Gordo and some characters and things on a display, and they're so far ahead with their computer advancements that I thought, there's Tekken 2 except there's no controller. So basically I put my money in, and it will have some kind of camera that senses my movement, and I'll be the character. I'm not going to try and break dance, but maybe I can throw some hands out. Anyway, very quickly I realized that people were laughing at me, and that I had actually put my money into a change machine. That was just advertising a new game coming out. So
amazing.
Oh dear, classic.
I've had a little think about this, and I've actually mentioned all of the games that I thought would make good not remasters, but good new versions of them. So one of them would be Space Invaders, right? I just thought, what is one of the oldest games that people play, and then what are we capable of today? And same characters, super simple, except they're everywhere, and they move in formations. They're constantly coming at you. They're simple, but here's the twist. Do you remember a game for PlayStation 1? It was very, very simple, and it was just a line running along the screen, and it might be called Parappa the Rapper or something. No, I think that's different. Anyway, it was a Japanese game. It was a line going along the screen, and then an X would form, and then you had to press X, and it would roll over the top of that, and then a circle would form, and you could put your own music CD in at the time, and everything would move to the beat of the music that you were listening to, and very, very addictive, and it would just get faster or slower, and you would control the tempo really by putting whatever CD. So if you were in a relaxed mood and you just wanted to take your head out of the game for a little bit, you could have some reggae on or something like that. Or if you wanted something super intense, you could have some drum and bass and just be like, rah. So it would have that element to it. Then a California Games or a Winter Games or something 100%. Like that button bashing, wiggling.
Yeah,
I think
fantastic.
That's what I'd really love to have back. And James Pond Robocop.
Yes, Robocop.
Yes.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I loved about playing that was that there would be like upside down levels and jelly levels and ice levels, and that all was affecting like how you would move. And such a great character, music banged, and I would like, even if they remade it, I would like it to be platform style.
Yeah.
And basically the same, just really good graphics.
Yeah. It's weird that James Pond managed to survive that 16-bit era and never got made into a 3D platformer. He just managed to stick being 2D side-scrolling, because there was that huge push for everything to be 3D. I remember when they did Earthworm Jim 3D, and it was just awful. And you're just thinking, why have you done this? And yeah, James Pond seems to be someone that managed to just survive that 16-bit era and never got pushed into a 3D environment. And it's still a good game. Robocop, the second one, is
Yeah.
I've
got it on the Amiga. So good.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I just thought there while I was on there, I'm gonna send you guys my brother's contact information. And again, I appreciate that you're promoting a show or whatever and your things. But if you want somebody who really knows about things and about the people and about the 16 bits and all of that stuff, then he is the man to go to. He makes games himself. He's made some really. I like him and my mum used to make like little basic games together, and then him and his kind of adult life has ironed out mistakes of games that he's played where he thought was a bit naff in some areas, and like made some really sick stuff to play on. So you guys should chat with him, or maybe we'll come on together or in the future or something.
Yeah, if he's up for it, we'll definitely we'll love to have him on. Yeah, 100%.
Nice one.
We'll definitely get him on. Look forward to that. What's your brother's name?
He's called Dominic.
Dominic. Fantastic. Whack over his details, and we're definitely get him on. That'd be so cool.
Perfect. Brilliant.
Liam, it's been amazing. Like I said earlier, it's been a long time coming. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you guys for having me. I've really enjoyed chatting with you.
Oh, good. No, it's been our pleasure. But do you know what? You are officially my favourite Big Brother housemate now.
Hey.
You are. John T, he's gone. You are my favourite now. But no, thank you so much.
15 years.
But I hope it was worth the wait. But no, it's been amazing, and I know you're probably used to being interviewed by Davina McCall, O'Leary, maybe even Ryland. So hopefully we've lived up to that stature.
Absolutely.
I don't think we have, but no, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. You're
brilliant. Well, thank you very much. I wish you the best with your channel, and I'm absolutely sure it'll not blow up as a result of me being on. But if you keep doing what you're doing, it'll get traction and become as big as you want it to, and then you'll all do that. Be a full-time job, and Triangle Face will be back, and it's gonna be fantastic.
Well, I don't think we should have him on.
Right, well, he's got the boot now.
Come back.
Sacked him off now.
We'll replace him with you, Liam. You're better looking.
So like Triangle nose. I can be. All right.
Oh, don't worry, I've got one as well. I'll say this to everyone: you're probably gonna have a few Facebook friend requests. 1, 2, 4. 4 Facebook friends, 4 Twitter followers, and 4 more Instagram followers, which would be us losers. So,
brilliant. Well, consider yourselves accepted, and I'll follow you back.
Cool. Beautiful. Right. Thanks very much, Ryan.
Right. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Take care.